Story time on how my catfish Tinder date hid a camera in my bathroom. Okay, so boom, let's get right into it. So I met this guy on Tinder and obviously we both were interested in each other. He was very handsome and most importantly, he was tall. I'm a tall girl. 5'8" to be exact, and a big thing for me is finding a guy who's taller than me or at least the same height. And he fit the description. I ended up doing something very, very stupid. I guess I just got way too comfortable because I've gone on many Tinder dates and nothing weird ever happened to me. Plus, I've been texting this guy, talking to him on the phone, and FaceTiming him for over a month. So we set a date at my place for Netflix and chill, and he would bring pizza and wine. I'm a homebody at heart, so I just agreed. Like I said, I was way too comfortable and very stupid. Little did I know he was a catfishing creep. Like and follow for part 2. Part 2 on how my catfish Tinder date hid a camera in my bathroom. Okay, so boom, like I said, I stupidly agreed to do date night at my place, Netflix and chill, and he brings pizza and drinks. He rang the doorbell and I was so happy and excited. But when I opened the door, that happiness turned into disappointment real quick. I had to literally look down to greet him. His Tinder profile said 6'5", and he was most definitely looking like 5'6". And even that's being generous, he's probably more like 5'3". We watched the movies and we ate the pizza and we had some drinks. I had a good time, but I definitely just seen him more like a friend. He tried to kiss me and I jokingly said, no, this is the first date. What type of girl do you think I am? Mind you, I've been talking real dirty and nasty on the phone prior to us meeting in person. He probably realized I wasn't interested. Before he left, he asked to use the restroom and I said, okay. That was a mistake. Back for part 3.
You will never believe what just happened to me. So I'm visiting home right now for the holidays and I decided that today I want to go thrifting. You know, hit all my favorite spots. So I get into this thrift shop, I'm looking around and I spot this beautiful Levi's jean jacket. It was in the men's section, but who cares? I make a beeline for the jacket. I go to grab the jacket and some other guy's hands grab the jacket too. So we're like touching hands. I look up and it's this beautiful, gorgeous man, okay? He looks about my age. Just a good looking guy, okay? So we kind of just stared at each other for a second. Then all of a sudden we started arguing about who saw the jacket first. And eventually I gave up because I wanted to be nice and I let him get the jacket. I watch him check out the jacket and leave. But then as I'm leaving, I see a bag hanging on the side of my car. It has the jacket in it. He left me this note with his number on it. I think I just had my Disney movie moment.
So when my brothers and I were little, our parents would give us each $100 for Christmas. Xbox 360 just came out, and that's all I wanted. The only problem was Xbox 360 cost way more than $100. So I went to eBay.com. I couldn't believe it. I actually found an Xbox 360 for $99. So without any hesitation, I pressed the button. Buy now. I kept checking my email for a tracking number of some sort, but instead I received an email that read, download your Xbox 360. At this point, I'm confused. Like, how do you download a physical Xbox 360? Is there a special printer that I need? I just don't get it. So I opened the email and downloaded the attachment. This is when my heart dropped. It was a picture of a Xbox 360. I went back to eBay and reread the description, and at the bottom in very small font, it said, this item is not an actual Xbox 360. Whoa, they got me. My parents didn't give me any more money, so my Christmas was ruined.
Welcome to the series I'd like to call 1 Minute Storytime. I had the absolute biggest crush on this guy in 9th grade. Like, biggest. Like, oh my god, I was obsessed. Okay, not in a creepy way, but I just, really liked him. One day he followed me after class and he asked me to homecoming, and can you guess what I said? I said yes. Right after me saying yes, he said just kidding. But that's not where the story ends. No. A few days later, he decided to ask my best friend. And she said yes. They ended up going together, and I did not attend homecoming because nobody asked me. But fast forward to a few months ago. I was casually working at my job where I work, where I like to make money, where I work, and he was there. We engaged in some small talk, and he eventually tries to ask if I would like to grab lunch with him one day. I said no. I have a little song that goes with this story. You don't really fuck with me way back then, but how about now?
Story time about how my best friend waxed off my eyebrow in my sleep, so I cut her hair. So a little background information. I was 14 and in 8th grade, and my best friends and I were having a sleepover. And right before we had went to sleep, we were all talking about this one TikTok trend that was going around. It's like this trend where girls would go and put wax on their boyfriends while they were sleeping and then take it off. Well, I didn't think anything of it, so that night I went to sleep. I should have knew this was gonna happen because I'm always the butt of the joke whenever it comes to our friend group. Like, I'm always the one getting picked on. Like, there was this one thing that my friend Ashley saw online. It was like, if you put white nail polish on your teeth, it would make your teeth whiter. So who did they decide to try it out on? Yup, me. And yes, I could have said no, but these were my best friends. I didn't think that they would intentionally hurt me. Anyway, so like I said, I go to sleep and all of a sudden I wake up in the middle of the night to something very, very, very hot on my face. I open my eyes and all of my friends are standing above me with their flashlights on. Like for part 2. Part 2 about how my best friend waxed off my eyebrow while I was asleep, so I cut her hair. So like I said, went to sleep, didn't think anything was gonna happen, and then I wake up and all of them are standing above me with their flashlights on. And then I realized that Ashley has a stick in her hand. Once I realized that there was wax on the other end of the stick, I started screaming. So then Kelsey decides to cover my mouth. She's like, shh, it's not that bad, I promise, like, don't worry. I get up real quick, I run to the bathroom, and there's like this pink transparent wax on my eyebrow. It was about 3 a.m. and we're all sitting there trying to find ways to get this wax off of my fucking eyebrow. Well, then Amber goes, I'm tired of this, grabs it and rips it off my forehead. So I'm crying at this point. Like, I'm in 8th grade, I'm about to have my glow up, and y'all gotta ruin it with taking my eyebrow off. So nobody went to sleep for the rest of the night because they thought that I was gonna do something to them. So I acted all cool. I was like, no, it's fine, I can just draw it on. When in reality, I was going to cut this bitch's hair. Like for part 3. Part 3 about how my best friend waxed off my eyebrow in my sleep, so I cut her hair. So like I said, nobody went to sleep for the rest of the night. I acted like it was okay because I was plotting in my head that I was gonna cut one of their fucking ponytails off. So I go over to their house next week, and every single day that week they were telling me how good my drawn on eyebrow looked. It didn't actually look good, and none of my hairs were growing back. So around 12 o'clock, all of us are ready to go to bed. I'm laying down, pretending that I'm sleeping, and they think I'm sleeping, so they're over there talking shit about me on her bed, Ashley's bed. I wasn't sure which one's eyebrow I should rip off because the one ripped off my eyebrow, but then the other one put the wax on my eyebrow. They were like, she's sleeping, I don't think she's gonna do anything. She doesn't even have the balls to do anything. So around 4 in the morning, everybody is dead asleep. I get up, and Ashley had her hair in a ponytail. So that was easy enough. I grabbed a pair of scissors out of my book bag, and I cut her hair.
Here's a story time of how me and my sisters almost got kidnapped. So my mom and her boyfriend were just gonna go out and have a night to themselves, and I was home watching my 2 little sisters. At the time, I was 13, my 2 little sisters were 9 and 6. So around 6 p.m., my mom and her boyfriend leave. Me and my sisters just sit down and watch a movie, and then I get up to make them dinner. I get paranoid really easily, and while I was making them dinner, I look out the kitchen window, and I thought I seen somebody in the backyard. I text my mom, and she gets on the cameras that are outside, and she said nobody was out there. I continue making them dinner, we sit down and eat, and then we start watching another movie. Then we start hearing knocking. It wasn't coming from any of the doors, it was coming from the side of the house. I didn't want to bother my mom on her one night out, so I just took the kids, and we went upstairs and watched a movie in my room. My 6-year-old sister at the time went to the bathroom and she came back in literal tears. She was literally crying so hard until I finally got her to stop and tell me what was wrong. She said as she was walking back from the bathroom, she seen somebody downstairs. I quietly lock my door and I put my sisters in the closet and I call my mom right away. I'm running out of time, like for part 2 of how me and my sisters almost got kidnapped. I called my mom and then she looked on the cameras downstairs and somebody was in the house. She never told me what the person was doing. I guess she just didn't want me worrying, but she called 911 right away. While my 2 little sisters were in the closet, my 6-year-old sister would not stop crying and I'm pretty sure the person downstairs heard her. At this time, my mom and her boyfriend were already on the way and so were the police. I heard him coming up the steps, so I quietly opened the closet door and promised my sisters that they would stay quiet and be calm no matter what. I didn't know what he was here for, so I hid in the side of the bed in front of the closet so that he would get to me before he got to the girls. I heard him just rummaging through stuff and stuff breaking. Then a couple minutes later, I hear the police sirens. Right as I hear the police sirens, I hear a bedroom window smash. While trying to stay as calm as I can, 3 policemen bust down the door. They grab me and my sisters and take us outside. About 5 minutes after they take us outside and put us in the back of their car, my mom and her boyfriend shows up. About 20 minutes later after he was caught, they did notify us that he was wanted for murder of 2 younger girls and 1 adult male. About $10,000 of our stuff was either missing or broke. Then about a month later when we were capable to, we did move. Nothing has.
If anyone's wanting to know how to get revenge on someone who spread rumors about you, listen to this story and it may come in handy. So I had a friend that we can call Miranda who was obsessed with me. I was genuinely friends with her, but she would never give me a break. I could not get a breather from her at any point in time. Everywhere I went, she went. And this girl would actually get so upset with me anytime I would go over to another friend's house. I knew she was really insecure and just trying to get attention, so I tried to be patient with her. However, one day I just could not take it anymore. I got into a massive fight with her over how overprotective she is. I literally said, "You are a stage 5 clinger." And in response, this girl ended up joining my basketball and softball team, which I've been on for forever. She told her mom that I was bullying her, which was a complete lie, but then her mom went to the coaches. She got me kicked off the team and then continued to spread rumors about me. I ended up losing my best friends and even my boyfriend over the rumors that she spread about me. So that's when I decided to get revenge. So I decided that I was going to send her over an apology gift with makeup in it, which was a mix of drugstore items and poison.
Story time. Would you call this cheating? So a little background information. I was 16 and a sophomore in high school, and I was dating this guy who we're going to call Tom, right? When we started dating, everything was super good. But a little bit into our relationship, I started to get the ick. Anything and everything he would do would literally irritate the hell out of me. So at that point, I told him that we should take a break. So we did. Well, while we were on this little break, I decided to go out with my cousin the one night. And she had brought this guy who she was talking to at the time. We're going to call him Jake. Jake and I had the same classes in school, but we never really talked to each other. Well, I started to get to know him throughout the night, and I realized we had a lot in common. I felt like he was flirting with me, so I decided to flirt with him. When we got home, I had told her how much I really liked Jake. We ended up FaceTiming and falling asleep on the phone together. We all hung out again the next day, and I invited him back to my house. Like for part 2. Would you consider this cheating? Part 2. So like I said, we all decided to hang out again the next day. It was really cold out, so I invited everybody back to my house. And when we got back to my house, we were watching horror films. And I was cuddling next to Jake on the couch. And listen, I wanted to kiss him really bad, but Tom and I had just gotten done with our so-called break. So I decided to be loyal and not do that. Well, a few days after Jake and I talking, I realized that I wanted to be with him and not Tom. So I decided to end things with Tom, and now Jake and I have been together for 1 year and 2 months, and we couldn't be happier. But every time that we bring up Tom, Jake always tells me that I cheated on him. Would you consider what I did cheat?
Hello, I own a nail brand and it's called Acrylics. I sell acrylic powder. It's not your typical formula. And maybe this is what you have been looking for. I will be explaining and showing you what makes my brand unique and different, and what my purpose is for the nail community. My formula is designed to stay in place, which means that the acrylic is not watery and it will not run away from you, and it's meant to be molded. When I was a beginner nail tech, I really struggled learning how to do acrylic nails. Some formulas were too runny, some formulas would marble, and that led me to wasting money or wanting to give up on nails, and I thought I was the problem for the longest time. But sometimes it's not that, it's just the products you're using are not good. As I'm showing you here, the acrylic is staying in place. By the way, this video is in real time and unedited. It's okay to take your time with this acrylic because it will not dry up on you too quick. Like I stated before, this acrylic is meant to be molded and not dried. With this perk, the acrylic is going to work in your favor. Wherever you put it, it's where it's going to go. So your application process is super easy. And since you're molding it into shape, the filing time gets cut in half. Also leads to less back pain, and you're able to do more clients in the day. And we all know that time is money. Not only that, but did I mention that my acrylic powders do not marble? When working with my acrylics, you will not have that issue in any color, and it's overall super satisfying to work with because the one bead method is 100% possible, as you can see in the video. I currently have 40 plus colors and a Easter bundle that includes 5 pastel colors at a discounted price, and I also decided to do an egg hunt in a way to give back. I am placing golden eggs in random orders that has a prize inside. I forgot to mention that my acrylic does not require a lot of monomer. As you can see in the video, my brush was working with the acrylic the whole time without having to pick up any monomer. A lot of beginner nail techs really struggle with the cuticle bead, but with my formula you do not have to fear the cuticle area no more because, like I said before, the acrylic works in your favor.
grossest thing that's ever happened to me. Like, I'm gonna cry or throw up. I don't know. Hold on. Oh, there are tears. Oh, hold on. I don't mean to be doing this while I'm driving, but I can't. There's no other option. Okay, I'm parked now, by the way. Okay, so every single week I have to take my 18-year-old cat to the vet to get water infusions because he has kidney disease. Yes, every single week. And he does terrible in the car. Usually I put him in his carrier, but he meows the whole time, and then he pees and shits and vomits himself every single time. And so literally the only thing that helps is if I put him in my lap because he stops meowing and he lays down. But the last couple of times he's been peeing on my lap. But it's fine because I always have a towel on my lap so it never gets on me, so I really don't care. But today was different. I didn't have a towel because he peed on all the towels in my car. So I grabbed this sweater and I'm driving, and all of a sudden I feel warm. Hold on. And I feel warmth down there, like in my vagina. And I'm like, what? And I look down and he's peeing and it's going straight through the sweater onto my leg and trickling down hold up. Now let me just show you. This is what I'm wearing, okay? I'm wearing really thin shorts and I don't have underwear on because I was rushing because I woke up late and I just walked out the door. I didn't have underwear on under my shorts. Anyway, his pee went in my shorts. And it went all in there. I have cat pee on my vagina. And I couldn't wipe it with the sweater because the sweater had pee already on it. And it's like in there. And I think I have Clorox wipes somewhere. But can I put that on my pussy? Can I put that on my pussy? Can I put Clorox what? I can't even talk. Can I put Clorox wipes on my... Probably not because chemicals. And now it's moving to my butt. And the smell, I don't even know why I'm wearing this jacket. It is hot. It is hot outside and in my car. The stench is making me want to vomit. And look at, he's so happy. And like, I can't go anywhere because I'm already halfway to his appointment. So now I'm just sitting here in my cat's pee. And I'm not mad at him because he's literally the greatest thing on earth. But now I'm a little grossed out. I'm just a little grossed out. I don't even have napkins in here. I have nothing. And he peed a lot. Like, he wouldn't stop. I think it was his morning pee. Like, I think he held it for hours. It was like a super soaker straight to my vagina. My pussy's got pussy pee. Now I feel like I know the true definition of a wet-ass pussy. Okay, story time. So I work at a jewelry store, and today a man came in looking for a gift for his wife for their 10th year anniversary. He ended up picking out a piece that said, "My beautiful wife." And I said, "Anything else for you today?" And he said, "No, that's it for her, but I do want to make another purchase using a separate credit card. And could you possibly create a different account for me?" And I said, "Sure, what are you looking for?" And he said, "Do you have anything that says girlfriend?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Perfect, I'll take it. And do you have anything that says happy 1 year anniversary to go with it?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Perfect, I'll take it." So I boxed everything up all nice and I put them in their respective bags. He had me mark a K for Kristen on the bottom of his wife's bag and an L for Laura on the bottom of his girlfriend's bag. I put pretty bows on them. I handed it to him. I said, "They're gonna love it. Have a nice day." And he said, "Thank you." And shit, I just remembered that his wife's name is Laura and his girlfriend's name is Kristen. I must have mixed up the bags. Oops.
Am I the a-hole for kicking my brother-in-law out after he referred to himself as the father of my child? Let me explain. I'm a 30-year-old female and my wife is a 29-year-old female. We welcomed our son into the world a year ago, and both of our families are very accepting of us, but my wife's family has this weird obsession with passing on the family genes. So this made adopting out of the question very early on. My wife and I always wanted to start a family, but things got difficult when my wife found out that she was infertile. We knew that her family would be understanding, but I am terrified of pregnancy. My biological mom died in childbirth, which has led me to believe that I wouldn't hold a pregnancy very well. After a few months of brainstorming, my mother-in-law suggested that we do IVF, using my eggs, my brother-in-law's sperm, and let my wife carry the baby. Even though I was skeptical, I gave in because the plan hit all the marks. Her family got to pass on the genes, and my wife and I got to start a family. Plus, I didn't want to carry the baby. We went through extensive counseling and therapy to make sure everyone was on the same page and could handle it, and everything went great. My wife loved being pregnant, aside from the morning sickness. And we were overjoyed to welcome our new baby boy in the winter. But a problem arose when we were preparing for my son's first birthday when my brother-in-law made a comment about how he should get a say in the planning as the child's father. I was shocked, I cringed, and I told him he wasn't. And told him that he was just providing a piece of him, and he looked me in the eye and said, yeah, so he's our child. My wife's jaw dropped and my mother-in-law wasn't making eye contact. I kicked him out of the house and told him that he couldn't come back until he apologized. But he got angry, which made my wife start to cry. She has always struggled with self-esteem, and this infertility really took a toll on her. For months, I've had to reassure her and tell her what an amazing mom she is. My sister-in-law later that day called me the B word, and I argued that my brother-in-law had no right saying any of that. But she kept yelling, so my wife and I had to cut off contact with her family. Brother-in-law signed away all of his rights and agreed multiple times he's just an uncle. But am I in the wrong for waiting for him to apologize?